Hi everyone, it's Bridget from Rain, Vermont. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to share how I make my applique t-shirts. I do farmers markets and craft shows, and I'm here at my studio, and everyone's always asking me, how do you make that? So I thought I'd hop on and show you how I do it. Let me zoom in. First of all, I have scrap fabric from making my skirts and my clothing, and I will share that in another video at some point. I need to make a couple peace sign appliques, and I like them to fit into my embroidery hoop, which is a 10-inch hoop. What I do is I take my little template that I made, and this can be, you know, anything you want to make. So here we go. I do have a fabric rotary cutter, which is my blue one. And so I simply take that and make, might need a new blade at some point here. And then I use Heat and Bond Light. I'm sure a lot of you are very familiar with this as for using applique. I like the light better than the heavy duty, which is in the red package. I find that we're just using this to place it and hold it, because we are going to free motion over the applique once it's adhered. So basically I'm using this to use it in the Cricut Maker to do cutting, and I'm also using it to basically baste the applique onto my shirt. So I take that, and I take my template again, and I will, oops, wrong one. And then basically just take, and this again, you know, I don't know, I just like to have different blades. So this is my one for cutting paper. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to turn my Cricut iron on. And once my iron is up to temperature, I'm going to, little trick here, just seems to get the paper to lay down. Okay, my heat and bond there. And then I'm just going to place my piece of fabric right over the top of that. Now these are synthetic fabrics. I use Lycra in making my skirts, spandex, so we need to put a press cloth on top. I'd like to make sure it's not folded. Okay, and then I'm gonna put my timer on for 30 seconds. I don't feel the need to press down. The iron is heavy enough. This Cricut iron's great. I've been using the Cricut Maker for about 5 years, and I have some of their accessories as well, which just make it really helpful and nice, and especially the timer and the weight. So I'll take that off. And then that's it here. You're going to move over to the Cricut machine, and I'm going to load it. I'm going to put it on the mat. I'm going to load it, and I'll show you how it gets cut. I wanted to show you how I put it on the mat. Make sure it's nice and adhered down. Fabric is down, and it'll cut through on the paper. All right, let's go over to the Cricut machine. I'm at my machine, my Cricut Maker, and I'm placing it in between the two notches there. I already have queued up my peace sign, and it's the size that I like for my 10-inch hoop. All right, so that's queued up, and you can see it's over. I hope you can see it. I have it, it's in the top left, it's in the top left. So now all I'm gonna do is say continue. I do not need to mirror it. And then it's going to ask me to queue up. And then it's going to ask me my fabric. And for this, I say it's fabric. I actually say it's like cotton fabric. Even though it's a spandex, it's fine. I've done a lot of trial and error, and it's been just fine. So now I'm going to let the machine load, and then it's going to do its cutting. But what I do want to say, a couple things. I'm going to start it. It's a quick cut. You know, if you don't have a Cricut Maker, it's really okay. If you want to just try some of these things and experiment, all you need is some sort of fabric and the you know, the template. You can cut out a peace sign. You could draw the peace sign and then simply cut it out. So, you know, if you want to start out and see if you like something like this, I would just go ahead and, you know, get yourself some Heat and Bond light, all that too. And I hope you can see that. That's the peace sign. I'll take it out right here so you can see it. It's kind of always very fun to just undo it. Whee! And there is my beautiful little peace sign for my shirt. And now I'll go over and put it, I'll just iron it on for you, and we'll do that now. So here I am. I'm going to simply iron this on to the shirt. This is a V-neck, so it's easy to find the center, which is quite lovely. On scoop necks, of course, you have to mark. And here we go. So I like to give it a little press, just to give it some heat. Then I'm going to peel off. I'm going to try to peel off the Heat and Bond light. Okay. And then, oh, I see a little tiny nick. And you might see little tiny imperfections every now and then, but I mean, I know most of us are perfectionists. So now I'm just going to take it, and I use my fingers. The rule of thumb is 3 fingers down from the neckline, which I'm going from the V, so 3 inches down. And now I am centering it. And this is done, and now I'm going to show you how I hoop it up, and we will go over to the machine and I will show you my free motion embroidery technique. I wanted to show you how I hoop the shirts up. I have an embroidery hoop. I use a 10-inch hoop. Open it up. Slide this underneath the shirt. And as you can see, I have a lot of leeway around the hoop, around the applique, so that I can have plenty of room to move my presser foot around when I am doing my free motion embroidery. And I do not use stabilizer. This is why I came up with this process. I didn't want the back side having stabilizer that was coming off in the wash, scratching you if you're, you know, if it's touching your skin. I tried all those, and I honestly really didn't like the final result. So I don't do it that way anymore. So also I did want to say an important takeaway is once you iron the shirt, once you iron the applique onto the shirt, you need to give it at least a half an hour. An hour would be ideal. Overnight, even better. That's usually how I do them when I do them in batches. So you want the glue from the Heat and Bond to set up. If it's warm, it will distort your applique. Here, now that it's dry and set up, I'm able to manipulate it and give it that tautness in the hoop that I want, okay? Right? And that's going to be taut enough. As you can see, it's taut on the back. All right? Let's go over to the machine. I'm at my sewing machine. And you got to just kind of finagle it underneath here. There we go. Takes a little, I'm sure I could have a smaller hoop, but I really find that this one has been my favorite so far. So now I have my machine set up for free motion. Let's just double check that, make sure my feed dogs are in fact down, and they were not. Feed dogs need to be down. And then what you want to do first is needle down, needle up, and then you want to pull your bobbin thread through. can see that okay. And my stitch length is as low as it can go, which for me on this machine, this is an Elagio, it's a baby lock. The stitch length only goes down to 2 millimeters, but that is fine for free motion. It's the same, but the tension I leave is at 3.4. I do not change the tension. So now I'm just going to do, I'm just going to do a little squiggle, a little back and forth motion here to anchor the threads. And I like to, I mean, typically I would wait until I move along. I'll show you what I do most of the time here. And I'll just start going rounds and rounds, little spirals. And I'm just going around and adhering making squiggles. So now I'll just stop and I'll pull back and I'll go here and I will get that thread out of the way. And I will snip it so we don't have any little tangles. And then I'm just going to have some fun here. So I have variegated thread. I love variegated threads. So I'm just going to squiggle around here, and I probably fast forward this, so I'll just go through and do this, and we'll catch up with you at the end. I'm slowing down now here, and I can actually feel where all the thread is, which is nice. And, you know, if you're going across and you're like, oh, you know, it looks like a spot I missed. But honestly, that's pretty good. I feel there's no empty spots, and honestly, I mean, that applique is not going anywhere. This shirt will be your favorite shirt, and you can wash and dry it now, no problem. So now, pardon me, just doing a little squiggle, little back and forth motion to make sure that's nice and secure so the threads will not let go. And I am just going to give it a cut. I'm going to raise up my needle as high as it will go and my presser foot, and I'm just going to slide it on out of there. I hope you learned a little something about stretch on stretch applique process and how to hoop things and how to stabilize them. I'm really looking forward to doing more videos in the future. I hope you'll join me. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye.